Here we go. So the next, before we get into the next portions, a couple things I want to cover over the black lining. You know, you can see my work. It's not the best. I'm not trying to get perfect lines. That wasn't the intention. When you're painting, I went ahead and I painted and did paneling on the inside of my ship. I painted the lockers on both sides up top where I knew some black would eventually be. I also did the floor, the grading on the floor. Pretty much painted the entire grate. So I'm trying to get into all those lines. Not really worried so much about the top. Yeah, so that's something to consider while you're going through and you're doing your paint lining. I've also added some darker spots to areas that I know is going to receive a little bit more rundown and weathering. This whole area up front of the ship I painted completely black. I went through it multiple times to get all those recesses, because once I start spraying my metallic colors, it's pretty much going to glaze over the top, and it's going to help really with those details on the inside. So that being said, the next portion before we actually get to painting all of our chromes and metallic colors, we're going to paint the inside of the ship. Now you can see online the inside of the ship, it is a bluish color. It's like a navy blue, which is a fancy way of saying it's gray with blue, or blue with gray mixed into it. Payne's gray is a really good example. So when I initially did my ship, I mixed up a batch of paint and I still have some left over, so that's what I'm going to use. If you're trying to find a color, look at the image stills of the Razor Crest and then do your best to just, try to match it. This was a really bright, vibrant blue. I poured blue in here, and then I poured, medium grays and light grays in order to get the color that I achieved, that I was happy with. So mess around with it. It's all part of the custom process. If y'all want a video about how to actually mix paints, especially when you're trying to go up into the darker shades, you're gonna have to add a whole bunch of darker colors and whatnot to even start moving the shade colors. I can explain all that in another video. So anyway, we're gonna paint the inside. So I'm only working on the three main bodies of the ship. All the other stuff is up top, and I'm gonna just go through and I'm gonna paint the entire thing. I'm gonna watch where I spray. I don't really want to get it on the outside, but if I do, it's not gonna make much of a difference, because I can cover it up with the chromes and metals that I'm doing. Now, food for thought: the front of the ship, the cockpit floor is, it's about up to here. So the rest of this area is going to be a void space for the landing gear and stuff like that. All the way in the back of the ship, I probably can't get it to show up. There's an actual notch that's back here. That's where that floor panel goes. So anything below that line, you don't have to worry about painting. Like I said, there's landing gear that goes here and a sleeping quarter. So I'm going to get set up. I've added something to help make this painting area a little bit better. So I'll get set up, and I hope you like what I've done, so hopefully we can see. Alright, so I'm going to start with the front of the ship. I got my little exhaust fan on. And you're probably wondering, I don't see anything different. I still can't really see much of that ship. Well, don't worry. Gotcha. Boom. I added lights. Isn't it amazing? Okay, let me verify that my focus is good. Yeah, that works. Okay. So like I said, I'm using my blue that I've had. You can kind of see the color looks gray. I assure you, there is definitely blue in there. So like I said, I'm not going to really worry about the bottom portion of the ship. I will paint, if I remember correctly, I will be painting the floor the same blue color that's everything else. That might change. I might need to look that one back up. So we'll verify that our airbrush is good. Alright. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and go for it. So now with the black lining, as you can see, as I'm painting this stuff on, the intensity of how much paint coverage I put on will determine how much of my black line gets erased. And so with that same principle, that's how we're gonna apply our metal to the outside. I can cover it a little, I can cover it a lot. But just controlling the paint app and applying the paint, that will really help weather our ship. So as you can see, I didn't get the center of the ship. It's because that entire panel is going to be covered by our cockpit, or not cockpit, joysticks and stuff like that. Okay, so there we go. So that's pretty much what I'm doing to the inside. I'll kind of let it dry and kind of hit up any spaces that I need. The good thing about this ship is it's rugged. So having some of this, some of our base color shine through, perfectly fine and acceptable on the Razor Crest. Flying ass trash can. So I'm gonna do this for my other two portions. I'll keep the video going. I'll just speed it up for all that, and then after that, once it's all dry and everything is good, then we'll move to the outside. Alright, we're back with a fresh battery. So I don't think there's any special considerations here. You just need to know exactly what it is that you're painting. So the doors, we want to paint the doors. So that's those three. I'm gonna paint the entire thing in here, this color, and then I'll go back and I will hit that up with different stuff. Same with this. My main focus, I'm just gonna literally paint the entire thing. I'm just trying to get the actual back piece done, because everything else will be painted. I will add different colors to it. This portion, both sides, need to be painted. And then we have the cockpit wall. So with this one, you just need to know, okay, so which side am I painting? Okay, these go together like so. So I'm going to concentrate on this side. I will paint that side. That side I'm going to leave blank. This side I will leave blank, and I will paint this side that faces towards the cockpit. Okay. So yeah, get those ones painted as well, and then we'll be in a good spot. Literally, probably about halfway there, halfway done painting all this. So again, I'm just gonna fast forward through all this. All right, that is it. So now what I will do is I'm going to let that stuff all dry. I will come back to it. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to give it another 24 hours. It's not because you need to wait that long. It's just I like to make sure that each one of my layers is perfectly dry, even though it technically is literally already dry. I'm still going to give it time to actually do its cure, so it's hard for the next stage. So we painted the insides of the vehicle, of the Razor Crest, of the cab, and we took care of the parts. Alright, so I will come back when it's time to lay down some chrome.